myself, I'm not just gonna stand here and wait. I wanna just decide what is to be my fate. All by myself, I'm not just gonna stay here and wait.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm looking at the wrong screen again, as I'm looking at your screen instead of mine. Hello, hello, and welcome all 11 of you across YouTube and Facebook. Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. We're back. It looks like we're going to be doing these again regularly, as all of a sudden, since yesterday, yes, Matt G, tell me what I'm dotting. As of yesterday, all of a sudden, after doing a vertical stream yesterday, our numbers have gone through the roof for our tiny little channel. So I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden we have ourselves, maybe we're being forced to do these again, and maybe it's going to improve our standing on YouTube. Don't know, but all of a sudden we have like 3 videos from the past couple of days going towards 300, and then one over 1,200 views. So yeah, I think I'll be live streaming this time every day for the time being. Well, unless football's on, and then you're out of luck. But still, yeah. I don't really like the vertical formats, but the rewards, if it means growth, we're going to continue to do this. And yes, we will continue to look for a co-host. And for those who don't want to stick around and can just watch these videos later on our newscast at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you can go over to Rose's channel. She's playing Minecraft and killing dinosaurs right now. But again, be back here at 8 o'clock tonight for our big Chili to Cast for a retrospective. We've got a lot, from the Jock Sock to his latest shenanigans, to go over. So say hi, stop on by later if you want to, or stick around now and hear the news early. We're going to dive into the most requested thing all day. Yes, another pants rendition of a poem that I actually wrote this morning.
In the land of glitz and glamour came a man who stood below, the lights and ceilings put in place by the rulers who were on the blow. Chili by name, Chili by game, a prince of thieves and fools, would hawk his worthless products and take the police to school. Lawsuit after lawsuit, insult and threatened wrestle and punch. His viewers would tune in each night and see the other auditors eat his lunch. I am the one, I am the hero of the story, he'd cry with feigned fury and rage. But all would see a little man crying and shouting, never immortalized on the page. So as Chili turns 50, he runs up and over the hill. We wish him psychological help and a diagnosis and a large bill. For yelling and screaming, prank calling, and the charade won't be remembered as you're another day closer to your grave. Wise up, settle down, and think, oh little chilly man, about the life you could be having if you could only understand. Societal change won't happen, but there can be a change or two if you just stop being an asshole and put some work into you. Happy birthday, Chili, and fuck right off and back, as you're now much too old for this, and please stop doing crack. Embrace your family. Embrace Charlie. Embrace everything that stays. You'll be happier, oh tiny little man, if you just change your ways. Chili at 50. Fuck off right now and again. A hi-ho, and away you go, a step closer to the end.
And there you go. If you like that one, that is available over on our main YouTube channel. Please like and share it. That was Pants from this morning. I wrote the poem, and I think we make a good little combination there. Good morning, Victoria B, or good afternoon, Victoria B, and welcome, Michael. Welcome to everybody else who stopped in, including you, Captain 3D. Our next one is an update on Parsons' most favorite person. Let's just get right to it. Public safety remonetized by YouTube. As if this one just wrote itself, just as we wrote that everything to do with Christopher Public Safety Reader was a pain in the ass and not worth covering in our last article about him, he announced that his channel was remonetized and the crisis he was facing is over. Reader posted this on his YouTube community page. The appeal video was successful. The channel's back in perfect health. Thank you all for your patience. Kaiser and Scarborough did a live stream last night bragging that they were the false reports. And that was that. Reader crisis averted. He turned his attention to Christopher Direct D Ruff in his latest live stream, referring to Ruff as Indirect D. He criticized the First Amendment auditor for spilling tea on his fellow auditors and his violent criminal history. He brought up Ruff's criticism of his 25-year-old charges of DV that Reader previously faced as being ironic in comparison to what he said was Ruff's charges of armed robbery that earned him felon status, claiming that Ruff is now working in conjunction with Fraudit Wrangler and a reality star ex-girlfriend of Reader's to defame him. Reader warned that ex-girlfriends weren't great sources of the truth, and that Ruff was a bitch and a troll and involved with the group that led the complaints against him that resulted in his demonetization on YouTube. The monetization of Reader's channel came and went quickly after what he claimed was an organized effort by trolls in the United States government. Reader was forced to appeal to YouTube via video before it made the final decision to restore monetization to his channel. His new status brought no movement to his GoFundMe campaign, which saw no new donations yet again yesterday. Our own ongoing expenses campaign took the day with a $10 donation. On that note, as we sing for our supper and bring you new stories each day, we'd be remiss if we didn't remind you that you can continue to force me to write this dreadful column each day by contributing to the GoFundMe of our own. All proceeds go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on reallycoolsite.org. See, I'm getting sneaky. I'm sneaking the GoFundMe updates into actual news stories now. Hi, Rosie. Good to see you mining, and you were ignoring me, so I went to start as Helen is screaming over on my left. Yeah. We've got 2 chili stories left, and then we're out of here. Remember, newscast at 7:30 tonight, and then we'll be having our Great Chili Retrospective right here on the channel at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock where it counts, 6 o'clock Mountain, and 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Please join us. I realize it's also a tremendous day in our nation's history. We will be honoring that before we get into the chili stuff. So I'm going to give you the selection of one or two put a 1 or a 2 inside chat to pick our next story. 1 or 2. And not my BAC, because I haven't drunk today. I'm fine. Rose says 2, but what do the rest of you say? We've got 12 of you around. I guess we've got a couple of 2s here. 1 1, 3 2s. Get them in real fast as I'm about to click. We've got either... yeah, Parsons, I saw that. We might follow up on it or not, depending on how horrible Tuck with Harry is this time. Anywho, since enough of you said 2, we're going to click on 2, and it's all Rose's fault.
Jose Chili de Castro in the Dream of Fame. A recent ruling by a California court said that Jose Chili de Castro was a normie, a private figure, not famous, not anything special, and certainly not a public figure. Unless, maybe. The blow to de Castro's ego on this one has to be stupendous. He clearly considers himself a public figure because, besides running for governor, he's got a history of declaring himself a public figure. We can point to 2 huge examples that most anyone who has followed de Castro has seen. The first came when he was upset with Ironton, Ohio, and he was going to file his never-ending federal civil rights lawsuit against the police force. He said, "When someone called me and said, 'Hey, someone made a video about you,' or 'someone said something about you,' I just don't really care that much. I just don't really care. It didn't really matter to me because it didn't really matter at the end of the day. Changing the world requires that you are a public figure. People are going to talk about you no matter what you do. That's why I can't sue some of the individuals that I want to sue." Remember when he went after Kate Peter and sought a protective order? He literally said, "I became a national figure when I created the timeline that shows the history of lynchings in our country and compared them to the history of prison charges. I became a national figure." More recently, he's talked about being famous in jail and how he can't walk down the street without someone mobbing him or knowing him for his hugely popular YouTube videos. He's often alluded to his great fame nationwide, telling his audience that they'll have to register to vote because they'll be needed to vote for him whenever he finally decides to pull the trigger or run for the governorship of a state to be named, eventually. And he was a former Power Ranger, the black one at that, for a handful of minutes before he got fired. Let alone, he was the promoter of the jock sock, the inventor too, and the super necessary human. These might not have brought him the greatest fame in the world, but he's known for them, and being known and thinking you're known means that proving you're not known, you're not famous, and that you're a pathetic, lonely little man who walks down the street at night talking randomly to a handful of real people and 50,000 bots from Asia and looking for police to flirt or interact with, who has no real fame or discernible social value past your graying hair, expanding belly, and, well, journalistic prowess? Oh, wait, where were we? Oh, yes. Proving he's not known just to win a lawsuit will be the hardest thing he'll ever have to do. And for that, on your birthday, Jose Chili de Castro, we don't envy you. Here's to the average guy, the average gal and person, those underachievers, the never was, the failed Luke Skywalkers, and the masters of obscurity. Welcome, welcome, Chili Flippin' de Castro. You're one of us now. Happy birthday. Now call your mom to bring the soda pops and chips. It was your turn to bring snacks to bowling night. Don't f this up, Chili. We're on our way to league championships, and you may be remembered if we can beat Troop 5509 tonight. Go team!
And yeah, Chili and this whole lawsuit is kind of silly. As someone pointed out, the judge gave Blue Bacon a way to win the case, and let's see if he follows through with it, because the fact is, there's one charge left, and I'm not sure what's going to happen when Chili, basically, if the case is thrown out against Bacon, he hasn't served Team Skeptic, and he hasn't served Daniel Clement. So he's way past serving them. And Kate Peters in default, so would it just jump to going to the Kate Peters stuff? Because he has to prove, even though she was found in default, he has to prove the case against her. So goodness knows what's going to happen. And if Kate's even going to participate. And if Chili somehow gets a verdict against Kate, then God help him trying to get money out of her. Because, yeah. Just like God help God help Lou Bacon if he's awarded costs and lawyers' fees, because he already Chili's in the hole to him $10,000, and he's never going to see a dime of that, at least for now. Our last story again is Chili DeCastro, so let's jump into it, and here we go.
Castro street walks for cop encounters. Despite claims that he was heading back to Los Angeles the day before, Jose Chile de Castro spent the eve of his birthday walking the streets of Las Vegas looking for interactions with police officers at traffic stops. In a 12-minute-long live stream posted just hours before he turned 50 years old, the YouTuber encountered a bevy of local police at an apparent traffic stop and implored at least one officer to change his ways and become what's needed for society. DeCastro approached an officer on his way back to his car and asked about changes made to police procedures, about the handling of First Amendment auditors after his multiple lawsuits against the city. The officer, not visibly recognizing DeCastro, much to DeCastro's disappointment as a public figure, said that changes had been made to the laws and procedures over the years and didn't see much of an impact from his perspective. DeCastro interjected that he had performed audits on police officers in 30 different states and had only been arrested for his actions in Las Vegas, then implied that he would possibly be making money off his latest lawsuits against the city for his recently overturned conviction. The officer sidestepped the statement, but briefly engaged when DeCastro pitched the idea of digital detainment and throwing wads of silly putty that contained tracking devices at fleeing cars instead of pursuing the vehicles, then sending a tow truck to impound the vehicles afterwards. The officer asked, "What if you missed in your throw?" and DeCastro essentially blew him off, saying whatever crime wasn't that important. The officer asked him again what would happen if the person you then let go was a serial killer, and DeCastro chided the officer, reminding him that the likelihood of a low-level police officer like himself encountering a serial killer was non-existent. DeCastro claimed that his time in jail had changed his way of thinking and said that he was now going to work to bridge the gap between citizens and police. He continued, saying that police needed to put their egos aside and react passively to petty things done by suspects to prevent further escalations. The officer politely excused himself, and the other squad cars left the scene. After the police left, DeCastro, standing on a random sidewalk with a dreary area of Las Vegas on display behind him, far from the bright lights and beauty of the Strip, went into a long speech about changing the system. He said that as governor, as city council member, or as whatever position in government he can achieve, he would change things as he was addicted to change, and he won't stop, never stop changing the system. DeCastro then said all the independent First Amendment auditors needed to come together as a force, and in 2 weeks he'll be releasing a new video series that his fans will be very impressed with. The YouTuber ended the live stream by ordering his fans to respond in chat with the word algorithm and to go to each and every one of his previous videos and post the same word to activate YouTube's algorithm in order to increase the performance of his channel. We'll be having a Chili is Over the Hill party tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Really Cool News YouTube channel to celebrate his birthday. All are welcome. Come usher in the age of Chili being over the hill.
And that's it, folks. We're out of here in a minute. Chili being Chili tonight at 8. We've got clips and lots of clips of Chili over the years. We're going to revisit things like, the unnecessary human, the jock sock, and Uncle Artie wearing a jock sock. Oh, yes. It'll be good tonight, 8 o'clock. Remember, the recorded version of this newscast comes out at 7:30. We will have yeah, it's already, the individual articles are already available to members. They'll go live after the newscast. And with that, thank you all for being here. Again, these are going to be a normal thing since the wonderful algorithm suddenly embraced us after we went live again. So, in the vertical format, that is. So, we'll keep it up for as long as I can. Again, football nights, if the team is on, I probably won't be doing them, but we'll see what comes out. I may force pants too. So, an all pants newscast. Ooh. Anywho, see you in a little bit, hopefully at 8 o'clock tonight for the Chili Retrospective.